welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are coming to you from our studios at the Lansing Regional International Airport. All roads lead here, as a matter of fact. Let's welcome our next guest, though. Fast on the rise sports guy, Ian Kress, who's the head of sports for WLNS-Channel 6 in Lansing. It's good to have you here, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, Chris. Yeah, it's been quite the end of the year, that's for sure for me. But yeah, I'm good and glad to be with you.
Well, and congratulations. I mean, being named that. You've been there full time on staff only 3 years.
Yeah, December, I believe 20th will be the official 3-year mark for me. So yeah, just about 3 years. It's crazy how time can change in so little time.
So, Ian, I'm going to make an assumption, and that is you were at MSU in the communications department, I would imagine.
Yep, I graduated with a journalism degree and did communication classes as well.
So this is what you've always kind of wanted to do, is that right?
Yeah, this is what I went to school for. I kind of realized it early when I was in high school, and then went to MSU because they had a great program. I was able to graduate and got my first job in Zanesville, Ohio, very small town, and then it's actually where Mark D'Antonio's from, and was able to come back to Michigan and in the Lansing area.
Well, that's a good way to cut your teeth, though, is in a smaller market. You can make a few more mistakes down there, and they're appreciated.
Yes.
All right, so listen, as far as your background, which is kind of short because you're very young, but you're in a great position. What have been some of your biggest stories this last year?
Biggest story. So I think I would just have to start with probably the biggest one, which is, the last almost 2 months, getting put into at the time, an interim sports director role. I've never really been in a leadership type position where I'm in charge and the head of a department. And that's what I was put in, and not just put in it. It was also at the busiest time of the year for us in local sports with, football going on with Michigan State and all that drama. And then our high school sports, and then at the same time you got basketball starting, so you get that crossover. So it was a busy time, and then everything just kind of happened with what went on in our department. So I had to take over, and it was just very overwhelming at times. But I definitely think you always grow the most from those uncomfortable situations, and I definitely have grown, still adjusting and learning. But I've definitely grown a lot, and I think that's something that I'm happy to take with me into 2024.
Well, listen, one of the definitions of good leadership is how well you perform in chaos. And I think you've done a pretty admirable job about that. And it could be worse. Covering football would pale towards covering, say, the Board of Regents at MSU, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Better part of the campus. The football program, have you met with the new head football coach yet?
Not yet. So today, actually, at noon will be his introductory press conference. So I'll be at that a little bit later on in the day. And then I'm hoping to do a one-on-one interview with him for our weekly MSU FCU coaches show. So hopefully, today I'll get to meet him a little more. We had someone go to the airport actually on Sunday and talk with him. So, we've done a few things with him, but today will be my first time meeting him.
Well, you got the certification from Tom Izzo, which is not a bad look at it. He met with him and told he was going to be pretty good for the university, and that's obviously what we're all looking for. So let's talk a little bit about rankings, football rankings, and know that MSU is kind of out of that. You also cover U of M, who's had like a stellar year as well. Where do you see that playoff going?
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, because there's a number of scenarios right now, especially with the way Alabama won. If they somehow beat Georgia, they could even sneak in. But I definitely think 1 and 2 is Georgia and Michigan. And then, you feel like Washington and Florida State have to be 3 and 4 for right now. That probably will change come championship weekend, this coming weekend. But I think those are the top 4 right now. And who knows, Ohio State could even find a way to sneak in if Washington loses and Florida State loses. You never know. The Buckeyes could be playing Michigan once again.
Right. Now, listen, the new coach, John Smith, he's coming in. A lot of the kids are walking out through the portal. I'm saying to myself, it's 4 or 5 years before we see this program turn around a lot. You're closer to this than I am. What's your appraisal?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it could happen in, 2 or 3 years. You could start to see an uptick. I definitely think the first year could be a struggle, but at the same time, there's still talent at Michigan State. He had talent at Oregon State, so it's not like, they're starting at the bottom. It is kind of different when you bring in a Power 5 coach, because he does have some very good talent at Oregon State that will most likely some will come with him to East Lansing. But yeah, obviously Michigan State has lost a lot of talent already. So we'll see. I think, you could see an improvement, I would say, within the next 3 years. I think that's when you'll really start to see it. The first 2 years probably will be a little slower, but I would say 3 years is when you'll see the growth.
That turnaround. We'll look forward to seeing you on Thursday when, again, you introduce Jake Boss Jr., who's the head baseball coach at MSU. Ian Kress, sports anchor and head of the sports department for WLNS-Channel 6 in Lansing. Thanks for being with us, buddy. You have a great day.
Thanks, Chris. You as well.
You are watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.